on just, I don't know, it's bigger now.
Okay.
I don't know who did it, but thank you.
Yeah,
So
that was me. So if I zoom, it zooms in for everybody.
it should not. It should not. So it should be individual.
Okay,
But
because
I do.
I did zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. If you're moving it
I
in and
can
out,
zoom. Okay, I can zoom and like zoom in and out. I should be the same. So what I'm going to do is keep it at in my end the same. You can move yours individually, and nobody else will see what you're doing. So that doesn't matter. So that's why people can get lost. Okay. So just make sure. Let me see if I can do anything. That's okay. So what I want to make sure is that nobody gets lost. Okay. So the formulas are gonna be there for your practice reminder. These are not things that you can take to the exam. You need to memorize them when we get there. So that's how we're gonna practice so much. So like I was saying, today we are going to start working on what the numbers are, where do they go, and stuff like that. So please follow along as much as you can. If you want to write them down, like I said, pen and paper, that's the best way. You listen, you write, you see, and that way you learn. Or in any of those forms, you're gonna learn. So the first thing is that we're gonna read the question and we're gonna identify that the question is a math question. So Medicare provider billed Medicare for $200. Allowed amount is $200. Which amount the patient is responsible? So we're gonna do it exactly what we did yesterday. We said, well, we're gonna write down charges, but I said I was gonna clean this. Give me 1 second, see if it makes it better. Okay, I didn't mute it. Sorry if that made a horrible sound while I was cleaning it. I don't know if it did or not. So you read the question and you determine that it's a math question, and then you're gonna start writing the things that we said before. So charge, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment. And then adjustment, because we're gonna calculate adjustment anyway. Okay. So now we go, okay, what are the charges? Well, we said the charges or bill amount is the same thing. So in this case, it says billed or charges is $200. Yeah. And then it says allowed amount is $200. Amount is $200. Then there's nothing else. Then the question asks how much a patient has to pay. Okay, so you're gonna use a formula for patient. And
But
the formula.
Professor, they told us that they have Medicare. So doesn't that mean that the co-insurance is automatically 80/20?
But the question says, I'm getting the information from the question, says that, and the patient responsibility. So that's what we're here now. Okay. So the patient responsibility will be the patient's formula. So I'm gonna write it down. Is the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. And then the whole thing, we're gonna add deductible and co-payment. Now, that's it. That's all the information that we have from the question. That part, and that part. So now we go to a part that says deductible. And like the question didn't mention deductible, but if you remember, if it doesn't say deductible, the question, only the question, then you can assume that the deductible is going to be 0. It doesn't say co-payment, but as you were saying, it says Medicare, so we can put Medicare there. Okay, so Medicare means equals 80/20 automatic. And then it doesn't mention copayment. We said that if it doesn't say anything about copayment, you can assume 0. So you can assume 0 for deductible, 0 for copayment because it doesn't say anything. And you assume 80/20 for Medicare because it says Medicare. Okay, beautiful. So now that's all the information that the question had. Oh, that's all the information distributed in our little table. So now we just go ahead and do our calculation. We take our amount, that was $200, minus deductible 0, times the percentage for the patient, that is 20%. And then you add copayment in this case, and deductible in this case, both to number 0. So that's how you get. So now you have $200 times 20% plus 0. And that is 22, that's $40. Okay. Is it 40? 2 times 2, 4? Cheers. Okay. That will be the end to that question. That will be the answer to that question. Anyone had any problem with that question?
No.
Anyone
No,
didn't saw what everyone should have seen? Medicare 80/20, deductible 0, copayment 0. So this is our answer, because the question said only what the patient was responsible. But because we're practicing, we're gonna do the insurance payment also. So the insurance payment, you don't have to do this on the exam. The exam, they're gonna ask one question, so you're gonna do one answer. But to practice, the insurance payment will be the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. You substitute the numbers, the allowed amount is 200 minus 0. All of that times 80% because that's the percentage for the patient, for the insurance, I mean. And then 2 times 8 is 16, so $160. That will be the insurance payment or insurance responsibility. Then the last one here, we're gonna do charges minus allowed amount. That gives you the adjustment or the write-off. And then you have $200 for charges minus $200 for allowed amount. You have a total of $0 for adjustments. Any questions on any of them? Be good. Everyone good? Everyone happy? Everyone understands?
Yes,
Hi.
sir.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
Anyone not happy with the numbers? Is everyone still happy with numbers? You know, it's slightly more difficult, so not impossible. Not impossible. Okay, so you see, this is the thing. You're not presenting, my love. Jenny Torres.
Presente.
Well, be careful what you touch. So if you change it to presenter, then it will let you change anything to. So. Okay. So this is the next one. The next one is number 2. Says a patient undergoes whatever procedure and surgery is performed on a femur fracture. The hospital bills $9,300, knowing that the patient had previously satisfied $600 of their $1,000 deductible, and that the patient's insurance considers allowable amount of $5,000 with a coinsurance of 80/20. How much would the patient have to pay to settle payments? Be careful with moving things so you don't write on the board. So you determine that this is a question that has to do with calculation because it's saying how much a patient has to pay. So that means there's a calculation. So let's go ahead and do it. So you go charges, amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payments. And adjustment because we're gonna do it at the end. Okay? And the question says how much the patient has to pay, so you can start saying, okay, patient pay. Okay, so let's go. Says a bunch of garbage that you don't need, but then it says bill $9,300. So that's charges for bill 300. Then it says the patient has paid $600 of their deductible, that is $1,000. So you put the deductible was $1,000 minus the 600 that they have paid. Then the patient's insurance considers allowable amount of $5,000. So allowable. Then there's a co-insurance of 80/20. So you put 80/20. And it doesn't mention anything about co-payment, so you can say 0 for co-payment because it doesn't say anything. And the question asks how much a patient has to pay. So you know that the formula for patient is the allowable amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. And to that, you're going to add deductible and you're going to add co-payment. We're going to substitute the numbers. We're going to use allowable amount of $5,000 minus deductible. Well, deductible, you have two numbers already, $1,000 and 600. But that means that the deductible was $1,000. Now is something else because you already paid 600. So how do you get that? 1,000 minus 600, that will be $400. There's no other way of thinking about this. There's gonna be, if there's two numbers that talk about deductible, you take the biggest one minus the smallest one. That's it. So you're gonna change that to 400, and then you're gonna put in your formula the 400, whatever's left. You're gonna multiply it by the 20% because that's the patient's responsibility for the co-insurance. Plus, then you're gonna add a deductible of 400, the one that you calculated, and then you're gonna add 0 for co-payment because there's no co-payment in this example. Now, 4,600 times 20%, and to that you're gonna add $400. You get your trusty calculator, and it's gonna be 4600 times 0.20. It's $920. And we're gonna add $400. That will be 1,320. Yes, no questions about that one.
I got the same thing.
Good. So we were both wrong. I mean, both right. I want to put it up a little bit. Now, your question is done. The question is how much a patient has to pay. But we are going to, because we can, we're going to do the insurance payment just to practice. Insurance goes like this: the allowed amount minus the deductible times the percentage for the insurance. You substitute your numbers: $5,000 minus the 400 that you calculated times the percentage is 80% for the insurance. So you have the same 4600 now times 80%. So you put your trusty calculator. That's on the calculator. 4600 times 0.8. What? 600 times. There you go. Your answer will be 3,680. $3,680. You don't have to remember the question only asks about the patient's settlement, but we want to do all of the practices. So now we're gonna do the adjustment. The adjustment will be charges minus dollar amount. So it's called adjustment or write-off. 9,300 minus 5,000. It should be 4,300. Questions about that example? Questions about that example?
No.
Okay. We are traveling through our exam, and all of a sudden a question appears that says a provider bill Medicare the amount of $600 a service rendered to a patient who has met. Jesus Christ, met. Who wrote? Did not. Met, 1M, 1E, only. Met. The deductible allowable amount is $350 and co-insurance is $90.10. What is the amount the patient owes? Okay. So we go, oh, this is a math question. Let's do it. Charges, allowance, deductible, co-insurance, copay, and just for practice, we're gonna do adjustments. Question says how much the patient has to pay, so the patient pays. Okay, so you write your numbers down. Billed 600, allowed 350. Deductible is met. And it says, even though it says Medicare, it gives you a co-insurance here. So let's use that one, 90. And it doesn't say co-payment, so 0. So our formula for patient is the amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. And to that, we're gonna add deductible and co-payments. We substitute the numbers, 350 minus deductible. Well, what is met? Met means 0. So 0 times the percentage for the patient. And for the patient is 10%. Plus 0 for deductible, plus 0 for copay. So 350 times 10%. That is $35. Because we can, and because we're practicing, I'm gonna do how much the insurance has to pay. And the insurance goes like this. It's the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. 350 minus 0 times 90%. So 350 times 90%. You calculate in your trusty calculator. 350 times 90, 350. Because we can and because we're practicing, we're gonna do the write-up or the adjustment. So charges minus dollar amount. Charges were 600 minus 350. And that is 250. It matters. You have a question, go ahead.
Yes, so my question is, when looking at the question, because I don't know if I'm sure the test is timed. So if you know off the bat, like you read the content clues, like, okay, we see the allowable amount is 350, they charge 600, but we know just reading off is that there's no deductible, there's no copay. Can we just jump into the 350 times the 10%, or is good practice to keep going in this step?
Good practice to keep doing it like this.
Okay.
It takes super, like, think about it like this. We're doing all of them. Okay. I don't know exactly at what time we started, but we've done,
3.
well, actually 3 times 3. We've done 9 already.
Oh,
Done
oh yeah,
10.
including the insurance,
Excuse me?
because we're doing the insurance also, the patient responsibility and the
Yeah,
insurance.
so we're doing the patient, we're doing the insurance, and we're doing the adjustment. Those are 3 different examples. These are 3 different questions. So if you were doing only one, then it's best practice if you go ahead and do the whole thing. Because if you are understanding how the interaction of both payments are, this is what you're doing, and I think I mentioned it yesterday. If you say, for example, well, if there's no deductible and there's no co-insurance, I can just multiply this times this and then this minus it. Like you're complicating yourself. Why? Because the day of the exam is not gonna be a super fun day that you are sitting at home, taking your coffee and the teacher is the ones doing the thing and you're just following along. It will be on your own. It will be 150 questions. It's a stressful situation. So if you get comfortable doing things this way, you get really good at it, really fast at it, and hopefully you won't make any mistakes. If you start trying to get shortcuts here and there to gain 10 seconds, then that day those shortcuts are gonna you're gonna have to pay for them. So it doesn't take a lot of time to do it. So if I ask you what the adjustment is, then, for example, let's use this question as an example. If the question said instead how much a patient owes, it was only the adjustment. So you can do this. You can say, okay, you can time me if you want. You got like, okay, charges. Whoop. I don't know. You go charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-pay. But the question asks about adjustments. Okay, why is it not writing in this side? Charges were 600, allowed amount is 350. And then you gotta, well, the adjustment charges minus allowed amount, so you don't have to, continue if you don't want to. But how much it would take you to write down those other numbers? 0 here, 90, 10, and 0. Like it took what, 3 seconds? So if you do it structurally the way that I'm showing you every time, you're gonna get really good at it, really good at doing it fast. And the trick is that if you get it wrong, you can always go and check what you did immediately without having to go and read the question again. So this part here is so you don't have to read the question again. Right. That is for you not to read the question. What was that? No. Oh, sorry. So you don't have to read the question again. So it's advisable. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. But my suggestion, my experience, the best way is to do it this way. For everyone, not for because if you're good at numbers and you're understanding, and you feel comfortable, sure. But I'm guaranteeing that the day of the exam is gonna be a different thing. You're not gonna be as comfortable as you're gonna be tired. It's a long exam. The questions are gonna be just gonna be a question about Medicare one day, one question, a question about a definition later, and then a question about math. So the questions are all mixed up. So maybe at the beginning you take a question and you can do that, but question number 148 that might not be the case after 3 hours of answering questions. Do as you wish. I'm giving you the best.
No, when you break it down like that, it does make sense because it didn't take extra time for you to, when you do the steps, it doesn't take extra time. I just thought like, okay, if I go like this, but.
Oh, and about time, you have over a minute per question. Most of the questions you're supposed to answer them in 30 seconds. Read and answer in 30 seconds. So you have 3 times as much time to do that. So you will have time. You will have enough time to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. What? This one. This is the one that's coming next. Okay, so this is number 4. Number 4 says a 500 bill is received by an insurance plan for a procedure performed. Allowable charges are 300. The patient has met the deductible. A maximum is in place. What is the amount the insurance will pay? So okay, this is a question about payment. So I need to do my calculation. Charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance. Okay. And adjustment because we're gonna calculate it anyways. Charges is 500. There's a bill or charges. 300 for allowed amount. The patient has met the deductible. There's a maximum in place that has to do with the co-insurance maximum. Doesn't mention co-payment, so that's 0. The insurance payment is what we're looking for. That formula is the allowed amount minus the deductible times the percentage for the insurance. Substitute the numbers. Amount 300. Deductible says met. That means that that's 0. So 0. And then percentage for the insurance. Well, here it says max. We said that max means the insurance pays 100%, the patient pays 0%. Okay, so that means that this is 100% here. Now that's 300 times 100%. That is that is 300. Just for practice, we're gonna do the patient's payments. Patient's payment is the allowed amount minus deduct times the percentage for the patient. That whole thing plus deductible plus copay. In this case, allowed amount is 300 0 times 0% plus 0 plus 0. 300 times 0, it's 0. Now, you can say, well, if the insurance pays 100%, then the patient pays nothing. No, wrong, because the patient still pays the deductible and co-payment. If the example had deductible and co-payment, the patient will have a payment. So kind of the same thing that we were doing in the other one. If you see that it says 100% and they ask you about the patient, how the patient's going to pay, you could say, well, 0 because the insurance pays the whole thing. Not necessarily. The co-insurance is only from the allowed amount. Deductible and co-payment are separate. So if the patient had deductible and co-payments, they will have to pay. They'll have something to pay. So I don't advise you to just look at the question and kind of figure out how you can cut corners. Go ahead and do the whole calculation. If it's 0, it's 0. If it's not, then whatever it is. For example, if that, I'm gonna do it in a different color, but if this example had a co-payment of, I don't know, $10 here, then it will be 300 times 0, 0 plus $10, so the patient will pay $10. So again, I think it's best if you do the whole thing. It doesn't take that much. Then we're gonna do our write-off or adjustment is charges minus allowed amounts. And that one's simple. It is 500 minus 300. That will be 200. Questions about that one? Questions about that one? Okay, so let's go to number 5. Number 5 says a representative advice for a Medicare patient displays the following information. The bill amount was 250, the allowed amount was 200, the deductible has been met. Which of the following is the amount of Medicare payment? So you gotta, okay, so this is a question about payment. It's telling you how much it is. So you go, okay, so let's write it down. And you're gonna take charges of amount, deductible, for insurance, for payment, and adjustment because we're gonna do it for all of them. He said a remitted advice, so that means that was a document that was sent to the provider. So that's okay. Number says bill amount 250. Allowed amount 200. Deductible met. Co-insurance doesn't say, but it says Medicare, so Medicare. And co-payment doesn't say, so you assume 0. Now it says how much Medicare she pays. So well, for Medicare, we use the formula for insurance. Even though it's not an insurance, it's a healthcare program, serves as an insurance. So the formula for the insurance payment is the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage times the percentage for the insurance. You set it to your numbers, 200 for the allowed amount minus the deductible, says method that's 0. 0 times the percentage for the patient, for the insurance, because it's Medicare is 80. So 80%. So now you have $200 times 80%. 8 times 2 is 16, and 1 0 is $160. And you're done. That's your answer. But because we're practicing and we're taking advantage of the time, we're gonna do patient 2. If the question, instead of asking how much Medicare needs to pay, you say what is the patient's responsibility, and you can also use a formula for patient that goes like this: the amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient, and to that we're gonna add deductible and we're gonna add program. We substitute our numbers, and the amount is $200. Deductible was met, so that's 0. And the percentage, because it's Medicare, is 20% for the patient. And we're gonna add deductible 0 because it's met, and copayment doesn't mention it, so 0. But now we have $200. Now we're gonna multiply times 20%, and that will be $40. And you might say, well, I knew that it was $40 because I calculated this one and that one was on 60. Yes. But if the question asks how much the patient has to pay, why would you calculate how much the insurance has to pay to then figure out what that is? And not taking into account deductible and copayment. You have to be careful when you're trying to go around and do things that are not in the same order. In these examples that I'm showing you, you can see it clearly because you're seeing both of the calculations. But in the exam, you're not gonna do both of the calculations. You're gonna do one, whatever they're asking you. Or you should. Write-off or adjustments is gonna be charges minus allowed amount. So 250 minus 200 is $50. Questions about this example?
No, that makes sense.
This is 6. Yeah. It's not letting me. All right. Let me copy it in. Why don't you want to copy? There you go. Okay. So now we have number 6. This question has here in your exam. You read it. It says a patient has a $10 copayment, 80/20 insurance plan, allowable charge for the procedure is $150. The provider has billed $200. How much a patient owes? So this one, it's kind of the same thing, but it's everything is out of order. So it doesn't really matter. They don't have to give you in any specific order. They're giving you the copayment first and the bill amount last. That doesn't matter because you're gonna identify that that's a question that has to do with payment because it's patient owes. Then you're gonna do charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, copayment, and then adjustment just because we can. Then it says copayment $10. So you put copayment like those $10. 80/20 co-insurance, so 80/20. Allowable charges $150. Allowable charges $150. Bill $200. Okay, that's charges for bill $200. Doesn't mention deductible, so you can assume the deductible is 0. The question is how much a patient has to pay. So you put patient, and you're gonna okay, the patient pays the what amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient, and to that you're gonna add deductible, and then you're gonna add co-payment. You gonna substitute your numbers. Yeah, that amount is $150. Deductible 0. Percentage for the patient is 20%. There's no deductible, so plus 0. But there is a $10 copayment of $10. 150 minus 0 is 150 times 20% plus 150 times 20% is $30. So you have $30 plus $10. Patient pays $40. You don't have to do this. Your question is already over. You already answered your that you need to answer, but because we have a chance, we are going to practice. We want to, okay, what did the question say? Instead of the patient, it said the insurance. So for the insurance, you're gonna do the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage times the percentage for the insurance. Why? The percentage for the insurance. Then you substitute your numbers. The allowed amount is 150 minus the deductible is 0 times the percent for the insurance is 8. You go to 150 minus 0 is 150 times 80%. So it's 25, 120. Thank you. Sorry about that. You see, in the morning I can do math without a calculator. Okay, so now your question could say, instead of how much a patient has to pay or how much the insurance has to pay, you could say what is the write-off or adjustment, and that's charging minus our amount That will give you 200 minus 150. That is, again, $50 for an adjustment. Questions about that? No questions. That's number 6. Excuse me? Yeah, the question is the problem in the exam is going to be a question like that one. Like the information will be where it says, for example, this example says number 6. The patient, that's a question. That is the question. That's the question that you're going to find in your exam. So what we're showing you now is how to get the information out of that question. So all of the information is there. I've shown you every single example from deductible, no deductible, copayment, no copayment, deductible that you have to calculate, coinsurance, different coinsurances, maximum, Medicare, you know, every like that information is going to be given exactly like I'm doing now. That's what you're going to see in the exam. So you go to your exam and you're going to say, okay, so here I am going to do questions. And one of the questions, question number 7, is going to say this. Okay, that's your question number 7. So that's it. You see, you go to your exam and that's the question. And then under the question, it's gonna say something like this. It's gonna have little dots, 3, 4, and it's gonna have numbers. Insurance company. Let's do it. Patient has to pursue insurance, so they have to pay 943.60. So the options are going to be 360, 40, 0, or 24. Or actually 400. There you go. So those are going to be your options. That's going to be the question is going to look just like that. You're going to have a piece of paper and you're going to calculate it. Okay. The question is going to say, for example, insurance company, how much the insurance company has to pay. So you go, okay, so charges, you write in a piece of paper, charges on amount, deductible, insurance, okay. We're not gonna do adjustment as an example now, but so you go, okay, so charges are, Jesus Christ, my bad. I'm missing numbers here. There you go. That's not gonna work now. I hope. Okay. So you go, charges were $5,000. Amount is $5,000. Deductible was 500 minus 100 that they already paid. Co-insurance is a 90/10 because the patient have a 10%, and it doesn't say co-payment socio. And then it says how much the insurance has to pay. So the insurance pays the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. The allowed amount was, wow, I'm missing numbers here too. The allowed amount was $5,000 minus, this is 400 because it's 500 minus 100 minus 400 times 90%. So you got 4600. I calculated it wrong. I did it on my head. And then you do 90% of this. Put in your calculator. trusty calculator. For 600. This is what I say here. And it's 1, 4, 4, 2. Okay, and you go, oh, this is my answer that I calculated on my piece of paper. And that means that this is the answer. So you go ahead and color this little ball here. That's how your question's gonna look like. But let's see if I can do some magic here. I can eliminate this and this and this. You can eliminate this, and this. And select. You can select this. Move it. Continue as normal. So that's the one for the insurance. Because we're practicing, we can do the patients. We could do it in a different color. Why we do it in that color, my friend? So we're gonna do the patient's responsibility now. And for the patient responsibility, we patient pays the amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. And to that, we're gonna add deductible and copay. So if the question asks, what is the patient's responsibility? Can you do that? If the question asks, what is the insurance responsibility, is the other one. Substitute the numbers, 5,000 minus the deductible that we calculated, that was 400, times the percentage for the patient, that in this case is 10%. All of that plus deductible, that is 400. And co-payment, in this case, there's no co-payment, it's 0. So now you have for 600 times 10%. Allows 400. That is 460 for that one. Allows 400. That should be 860. Because we can, we're gonna do the adjustment. That's charges minus a lot amount. Charges like $5,000 minus $5,000 for adjustment for a lot amount. That gives you an adjustment of $0. Questions about number 7? Questions about number 7? Let's go to number 8. Wait, no. Let's go to let's do this one. This one always kills you. Number 8. Okay. Defense says a billing and coding specialist working for the office or participating provider who accepts assignment of charges, $40 for an office visit. The patient pays $5 copayment, has met his deductible. The allowable amount is 35 and the insurance payment is 35. How much can the provider write off? So this question says, how much is the write-off? So you go, okay, charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payments. Right. So you write down the numbers. It says charges $40, co-payment 5, deductible met, allowable amount 35, and and it says insurance payment 35. So you don't know what to do with that 35, so you don't do anything, and you don't have co-insurance. Doesn't say anything about co-insurance, but co-insurance has to be something 80-20 and 90-10, but you don't know. But then the question says, how much is the write-off? Well, we said that the write-off is the same as adjustments. So let's see, can we calculate the adjustments? Well, we can. Charges minus allowed amount. That is $40 minus 35. That gives you $5. That's it. That's the answer to that question. We cannot calculate the, you don't need to calculate the insurance payment because the insurance pays, the insurance pays 35, it says it already. So what the patient is going to pay cannot calculate it because you don't have the co-insurance information. Questions about that one? That is asking how much is the write-off, and the write-off is calculated with the charges and the allowed amount, and you have both. You don't have the co-insurance, you don't need the co-insurance for calculating the adjustment.
Are there fill in the blank answers? And if so, do we have to put money into the hundreds place always, or
Say that again, I'm sorry. This is
that
money?
is the test going to be multiple choice the whole way, or is there like fill in the blank where
Whole
you
way.
have to type in
No.
the answer?
Whole way, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm pretty sure the answer will be like $5 with no sense. Yeah, you don't have to write down anything. Yes. So deductible met, it's 0. They have paid an amount of the deductible, then whatever that deductible is, you do minus whatever it's paid. If it says co-insurance maximum, co-insurance is 100%, insurance payment is 100%, patient is 0%. If it doesn't say deductible, doesn't mention deductible, it's also 0. And if it doesn't mention co-payment, it's also 0. If I don't give you a number like right now, just do your little list and just don't include it. Maybe you don't need it, like in this example. Another example could be that I don't give you the charges. If I don't give you the charges, I don't need to give you the charges for you to calculate the payments, because in the formula for payments, let me go all the way to the top real quick. Maybe this way is better. If you see here in the formula for insurance payment and patient's payment, we don't use charges. So if I don't give you the charges, then you're good. You don't need those charges to calculate insurance payment or payments or patient payment. You need it for the adjustment. So sometimes they give it to you, sometimes they don't, and if they don't, that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that you don't need it, that you need it. So okay, so let's do next one. Next one's gonna be number 9. We're gonna repeat a few of the ones that we did already. We're gonna just change the numbers. So far, so good. Are you getting this? Are you understanding? Are you happy with what you learned, what you can accomplish in 1 day and a half of practice?
Honestly, I appreciate how you breaking it down because I am not a fan. And how your demonstration and how you showing us how to use the formula is very good for me. So I appreciate it.
Hey, of course. I told you I was gonna show you. Go ahead. Okay. Write-off and adjustment is the same thing. So that's not for now. I explained it yesterday, but I'm gonna go and do it again. So this is what happens. When you go to the patient's account, so I'm gonna do a different color and erase it afterwards because again, this is for a later time. So when you go to the patient's account, so this is gonna be the patient's account. Okay, this is the patient's account. On the patient's account, you're gonna say, well, I charge we had a co-payment. This is not a good example, but let's do the previous one. My bad. This is not I don't have the whole information here. I need one that has both payments. Okay. Ugh, this is a big numbers. Let's do this one that has teeny tiny numbers. Okay, so number 6. So you go here and you go like, well, to the patient's account. So now we are at the patient's account. On the patient's account, you put in the payment and the charges. So the charges are gonna be $200. Okay, and we're also gonna charge for a co-payment. So co-payment. So the patient has to pay the charges and the co-payment. The charges are $200 plus $10 here of co-payment. So we're charging the patient for today's visit $210. That's what we're charging. The insurance company sends you $120. So $120. That's insurance payment. Okay, so if you do that now, whatever that is, $90. Is it 90? How much is it? $90. So now we have a balance of $90. But then the patient comes up, right? And pays the co-payment. So patient. Just say patient, no pay. Patient pays the co-payment. So now there is, I'm doing it right. Why does it seem that I'm doing it wrong? Okay, let's see. $80. That's the balance. Now the patient pays the $30 that they're responsible for. So this is the patient co-insurance payment. They're 20% in the example. So now I have $50 balance. Well, the patient already paid his part, his co-payment. The insurance already paid. So what are those $50? Well, those $50 you charge extra. you're as a provider, you said you charge more than what you should. You should have paid charge $150, but you charge 200. So we calculate an adjustment, and then we have to do in order to eliminate that because the patient doesn't owe, nobody owes that. So we do a write-off, okay, or an adjustment of $50. And now the patient's account is 0. So that's the write-off. That's the adjustment. It's the difference between what you were supposed to charge and what you charge. You charge more than what you were supposed to, and nobody owes you that. After all the payments come in, you have to do minus whatever the adjustment or the write-off is, and you can calculate that by doing charges minus allowed amount. Okay. Let's see if this works. Leave it. Ha! Okay. Okay. This is number 9. Number 9 says Medicare provider bill Medicare $230. Allowed amount is 180, which amount is the patient responsible for? So technically, it's a question that has to do with math. And here you go. So the question says patient responsibility. Sorry, wrong color. Okay, so it says patient responsibility or patient payment. You go, oh, that's a math question. Let's do it. Allowed amount, charge, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, COVID, and adjustment just for fun. Charges were billed 230. Allowed amount 180. Deductible doesn't say, so 0. Co-insurance doesn't say, but it says Medicare. Co-payment doesn't say, so 0. And adjustment we're gonna calculate. It's asking for the patient's payment or the patient responsibility, and that is the formula goes like this: allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. All of that plus deductible plus copay. Yeah, that amount 180 minus 0 for deductible because it doesn't say. Percentage for the patient. Well, we don't know because it doesn't say, but it says Medicare, so that's 80/20. So it's 20%. 0 for deductible. 0 for copayment. So now you have $180 minus 0 times 20% plus 0. So that should be like $36. Just because we can, we're gonna practice a little bit more. So we're gonna do the insurance payment. The insurance payment goes like this: the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. So if you do the numbers, 180 minus 0 times 80% because it's Medicare. So we'll have 180 plus, minus 0, 180 times 80%. So killing me the 8s today. That's 144, yeah, right? $144. Didn't we do one that was 144 yesterday? Sorry. 144. And then we're gonna calculate our adjustment or write-off. Charges minus the auto allowance. 230 minus 180. That is, they're all $50 today. Wow. $50. Questions about that example? Questions about that example?
I don't have any.
Ah, look at you guys. I can give you more difficult ones if you want to. They're all the same. There's nothing more difficult. Like numbers could be bigger. That's about it. Let me see that we have to calculate that. Then we have that. Okay. So here's a different one. This is number 10. Wow, 10, 15, 30. So we've done minus those two. Okay, this is gonna be 50. When we finish this one, we will be over 50 questions. So we did, how many we did yesterday? 24. And today this will be 30 minus those two. So we'll be at 52. This is gonna be questions 49, 50, 51, and 52. How many of you thought that you were gonna do 50 billing math questions in a couple of days? Just think about that. So this one says a patient has a 20% co-insurance, 100% pay towards the $500 deductible. If the patient has a $500 charge for an outpatient surgery, how much the billing and coding specialists expect from the patient if the allowed amount is $450? So you read your question and you're like, oh, that's a question that has to do with patient payment. I need to calculate that. Charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, copay. And because we're practicing adjustments. So it says 20% co-insurance, so that means that's 20% for the patient and the rest for the insurance. So that's on 80/20 insurance. It says $100 paid towards a $500 deductible. So you take the bigger number for the deductible, 500, minus a smaller number for the deductible. In that case, it's 100, and you can just do 100, and that will be your new deductible. The patient has a $500 charge. Okay, for outpatient surgery, how much is being patient is if the alarm is for 50. We read it once, we put the information, we didn't find copayment, so copayment is 0. Now you're done. It says how much the patient has to pay. So the formula for patient is the allowed amount minus the deductible times the percentage for the patient. All of that plus deductible, all of that plus copayment. We substitute the numbers. The allowed amount 450, deductible 400. Then we'll calculate it. 500 minus 100. We're gonna multiply that by the 20% for the patient. To that, we're gonna add deductible of $400. To that, we're gonna add copayment of $0. So now we go 450 minus 400 is $50 times 20% plus $400. Patient payment will be that's $10. Is it $10? Yes, $10. Is it $10? People, you're not helping me today.
I got $10.
$10, right? So $10. You see, I know I can do math in the mornings without a calculator, and then $400. So the patient will pay $410. Okay, that's it. You're done with that example. But because we're practicing and because we have the time, and we are overachievers, we are going to do what the insurance pays. So the insurance pays, and then you go a lot amount. That's the only thing that you can, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Just write the formula. I write it just for the sake of you listening to it, seeing it, and practicing it. So it gets engraved in your brain. So the insurance pays the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. The allowed amount, you just substitute the numbers, is 450 minus deductible, in this case is 400. And the insurance will pay an 80% of it. So the insurance will pay $50 times 80%. That should be 5 times 8 is 40, so $40. Is it $40? I think, yes. So 40 and 410 is 450 because it's not 450. Perfect. Okay. And then we have the adjustment. The adjustment is charges. This one looks like a C. Charges minus the amount. And that is 500 minus 450. That is $50. Again, $50 in the adjustment. So in this example, this is why I tell you don't use your personal experience in this, because oh my God, I have insurance and the insurance paid only $40 and I paid $410. Well, that's because you haven't met your deductible yet. You're meeting your deductible right now by paying this. Next time, then it will be zero deductible. The insurance will pay more and you will pay less. Yes or no? Do we have guys in this room? I don't think so. No. So ladies, I can say ladies, any questions about the examples? Any questions about calculating? This is probably, it's not the hardest one. If it had copayment, then I will make it the hardest one. Because then you need to remember to add that. And if you forget, then but other than having co-payments, this is one of the hardest ones that you can get in your exam. And in the exam, you're gonna have around 10 of them, maybe. So 10 questions that have to do with math. And here in the screen, you see 3 of them. And just today, in probably like an hour, we did 30 of them. And this is 30 of them, me talking, you asking questions, me taking forever to write things, me fighting with the computer whenever I can write. If you were doing it on your own, you will do it a lot faster. So 30 of them in less than an hour. You have 3 hours to do the exam. You have 150 questions. You have 3 hours to do it. You don't have 30 in the exam. So you did 30. When I mean you, we did 30. And usually that takes longer than you guys on your own doing 30. How do you guys feel about this? Now I need to ask questions. I want everyone to tell me like how, or not everyone, but most of you, who feels that like they got this, like they are good, that they're happy, that they know what to do.
I feel like I got it. I just feel nervous about memorizing the formulas.
Oh, come on. Listen, listen. We're gonna keep practicing this. So next step will be that I'm gonna put questions for you to answer on your own.
Mhm.
You've seen 50 of them, and you're gonna do probably between 30 and 45 more. So by the end of when we finish this, plus we're gonna practice we're gonna check whatever you're gonna do on the next class. So you're gonna see them again. So my plan is that you see over 100 of them over this class. By the day you take your exam, you're gonna hear my voice. Oh. I don't know I don't know how you hear my voice, but I imagine it's like blah, 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 blah. So you're gonna hear, oh, the patient is the allowed amount minus deductible, and you're gonna be writing it with my voice in your head telling you what to do. So this is just practice. The more you practice, the better. So that's why I'm writing them. That's what I'm telling you what it is, and hopefully you're writing it too. I do it in every example just as repetition. Hopefully that will help you memorize.
Professor, when we take the test, do we take it from home or do we have to go to Miami-Dade to take it?
Miami-Dade, yes.
Okay, so one of the things that that always helps me is whenever I have formulas, the minute I sit down to take the test, they give you
Write
like
them
a
down.
whiteboard. I write it down, like at the
Write
top of
them
my
down.
paper before I get a question, just write down a formula while it's fresh. Like even just look at your phone before you walk into the room, say it to yourself till you sit down in the chair, and then you write it down. So that way when the question comes, it's there for you.
That is a great idea. So previous exams and some other, not necessarily this one, but exams that you could take things like books and stuff like that to the exam. A lot of people go like, can I write it on the book? And I'm like, no, if you write anything on the book or anything, you bring a piece of paper with anything, that will be considered cheating. So that suggestion is the one that I gave you. So as soon as you sit there, you sit down, they give you a piece of paper, you start writing the formula. Like that time the exam starts, you write the formula, and then you have it there. You have it there for when 3 hours from now, you're tired, your numbers and your letters are mixed together, you cannot see, and you want to kill someone. You go like, no, here it is. I have I know how to do it. I just need a formula. But you wrote it down at the beginning of the exam when, like you said, when you're fresh, it should help. Good. Who else? Who else has any comments or?
I have a question because I walked away. I'm not for sure something you want to ask the question, but you said no books can be taken to the exam?
Well, yeah, you take nothing to the exam.
Nothing. So they'll have the books. I know you was telling at the beginning of the class that they how they have the system that the books are there. You can
everything is web-based. Before you had to take the books and go through the pages. Now it's gonna be web-based. Everything's gonna be embedded in the exam. Calculator, books, everything that you need is gonna be in the computer.
minus your formula.
Excuse me?
Minus the formula.
Minus the formula. There you go. Minus the formula, minus the answers, minus all your knowledge. All of that you have to bring with you.
But we can write it. Would they give us extra paper? We could write it.
Yeah, of course. That's your scratch paper to do your calculations or anything. So they give, like she said, they give you your paper, exam starts, write it down and run with it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna do exactly what I did yesterday. I'm going to create an announcement with today's math whiteboard. It would be nice if I do it in the right class. I'm doing it in a different class. It would be great if I do it in your class, right? It will be super beneficial for you guys. If I put it in a class that ended 3 months ago, it shouldn't work. So math, I know a few people were kind of scared few people didn't like it, a few people like math. So I hope after we've seen this, most of you are relieved that it's something simple that you can do. If not, then amazed that you learned something new and that you can do it, or just more, even more confident than you were yesterday about it. So nothing's gonna be harder than this. Nothing's gonna be harder than what we just showed you. I always upload the math practice because I think some of you don't write things down. I think it helps. You can always go back and see how we did it. If you did it, if you wrote it down, then you can just double check what you did. I don't know, whatever works for you. Find it. Today is 10/5. Of course, I won't find it like this. Yes. Say that again. Are we gonna have some exercises? You're gonna have 15 exercises to go. If I could find this. Oh, there you go. Here it is. 3 hours later, but I found it. I think this computer has so much stuff. Paste. Let's see if it does not do what it did yesterday. Okay, so can you please tell me if you can see it? It should be uploading in the next 5 seconds. Or 10. Or 20.
I
I
see
got a
it.
notification that it's up. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Can
Yeah.
someone just please open it and see that it actually is there?
Yeah,
Remember,
it's there.
do you see the attachment?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, it's all there.
So that means that the next thing will be to give you. Wait, this is 6. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Um, where is this? Okay, we have time. Give me 1 second. Don't go crazy. Something is taking forever here, but we will get it. So oh, if you go in the right place, my friend, you will find it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put 15 questions. It's gonna be under an announcement. The instructions are to do all of them, do the patient, do the insurance, the patient, and the adjustment for all of them. Even though whatever the question says, doesn't matter. Exactly what we did today, that was exactly the way we did it. You can do it on a piece of paper, and handwritten piece of paper, I don't care. You can take a picture and upload it to Canvas. You can reply to the announcement. I don't care. You just send it, find a way to send it to me before Friday. So the due date will be Friday at the time of the class. Why is it taking so long? I'm gonna include the formulas there. Oh no, they're separated. So do 15, do 15. So you don't have to do the just answer whatever question is there. If they look familiar, it's because they are kind of the same things that we did before. But I want to make sure that you read carefully. Because they are different. Okay, so just answer every question. There's 15 questions. You don't have to do the 3, just do questions. So whatever the question I have to answer that. It should be uploading right now. Let me know if you can see it.
I see.
Okay, people. So if that's it, let me do your attendance and you're gonna be free to go. You do have the time until next class to do it. So make sure that you submitted it before that class. We're gonna go over it in the class. If you have any questions, we'll go over it in the class. So we're gonna do one more math practice next week, Friday, and then next day after that, we're gonna start going over the chapters again.
You just need the answer to the questions, right?
No. Good question. Good question. I need the whole thing. I need every single thing that you did. Everything.
The steps that we took to get that.
Tabs, colors, little arrows, whatever you did to do it. Imagine you're giving me your scratch paper from the exam.
Okay.
That's a good question. So I want everything. Yes. You can. So do you know how to send an email? Okay, so we can send me an email. Let me put in the chat real quick. Waiting one. No, everyone. Okay, so I put in the chat. That's my email. You can send it through there, or you can send it through Canvas. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure that I get it. Chat. Okay. Canvas is simple, but if it kind of gets weird, just write it down. Take a picture with your phone. Send me an email. If you want to. Sure. Canvas is a weird kind of thing, but let's do it. Let me check real quick attendance while we are on it. Brittany, Liz, Eva, Tatiana. Do we have Tatiana today? No. Actually, maybe that's Tatiana. Stop here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? Oh, 9, 10. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go here. So like I said, Canvas is a weird place. You go to inbox. On inbox, you're gonna have when it opens, you can have a conversation. You can go here to where it says compose. It's a little square with a pencil in it. That's to create a message. You click on it once, you click on it twice, you click on it 3 times. So you we're gonna go here where it says course. You select your class. You should have one class there. I have 100 million of them. Our class is this one, the Kendall. Last one. Is it? Yeah. So ours 144. The one that ends with 0. So that should be our class. Next to here, there's gonna be a address book. You can click on it, and it will show you everyone that is in the class. I don't know if you get all the information, but you get at least you're gonna get teachers. You click on it, and you look for me. So click on my name, and then you write homework. You say, "Hi, professor, love your class. You're the best," and then you apply an attachment. So the little thing there, and then you open for whatever document or pictures or whatever it is that you're gonna send me. So you can add the attachment like this. Click on this, add attachment, select the attachment from your device, and click send. So first time you do it, it's kind of confusing and it's a lot, so that's why sometimes it's hard, but you can do it that way. Or you can just submit an email. It will work either way. No problem.
And
Any
just,
other-
yes, and just to confirm, you want, for all 15 questions, you want 3 answers to,
No. So just answer whatever, because those questions are. Let me see. Did I repeat them? Actually, you know what? Yes, do all 3 questions. All 3. Yeah. Yep. Because they're all different. So do all 3 answers for everyone. So that will be 45 questions. And we just do it next time. Okay. Yes. Let me actually fix it. Let me actually rewrite it. Oh, I can edit the assignment instructions real quick. Okay, edit. For every question, please answer. Yes, ma'am. You'll see that it won't be exactly that, because I know a bunch of people are gonna start complaining about number 14. But yeah. That's fine. Who said that's fine? Who said that's fine? Who said that's fine? I want your name. Who said that? Liz, I'm gonna write your name here. And if you complain about number 14, I'm gonna remind you that you said that it was fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, people. So now it's there. Perfect. Let's do
Okay, I
this
just want to make sure I understand. What you want are the 3 different formulas for
for
on
each one.
each, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So that is it, my people. If there's nothing else, I put attendance. You are free to go. I'll see you guys Friday.
Thank you, Professor. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Marjorie, you can stay now.